Maybe it's just me, but I've spent a lot of time trying to find productivity hacks that'll make me more productive. But all they really do was made me feel more productive. I tried every single method and I go for it, and then after a while I just come back to where I was before, being unable to do work and just losing my focus after like 5 minutes. Then I thought about turning to science, so I went straight to neuroscience, and I'm like, okay, what can I get from this that'll benefit me? And now I only work 2 hours a day and effectively study so that I get the maximum grades possible with the least amount of time spent. So here are 10 different tips I got so that you're able to study with neuroscientific tips. Firstly, I started getting bright lights during phase 1 of the entire day. So in a day, there are 3 phases. The first phase of the day is from when you wake up to 8 hours after you wake up. This is when you should get the most sunlight possible, especially within the first hour of waking. During this time, you're in a high focus state where you're able to do like analytical work. Now, the second phase is 8 hours after waking up to 16 hours after waking up. And this is best for creative work and stuff that requires problems, such as math problems. It requires a complex solution. Now, the third is just pre-sleep and sleep, so it's pretty basic. Just don't get much light in your eyes and you should be fine. Now, secondly, I made a restricted visual window, and it turns out that it's not just what we look at that makes us more productive. It's how we look at it that makes us more focused. Now, if you've tried using your laptop in bed, you actually start feeling much more tired. This could be caused by the fact that you're just sitting in bed with a laptop, but it's probably because you have to look down and your eyelids are half closed. Now, the opposite happens when you have something that requires your eyes to be open. Now, putting the screen farther away from you also helps because you have to look directly in front of you in a very small area. And just a reminder that doing this is very demanding. So after about 45 minutes of working like this, you should probably take a 5 to 10 minute break where you're just resting your eyes. Just walking around, something where you're not focusing on anything. Now, thirdly, I brought my screens up to the appropriate height. And what you need to do is bring it up to nose level. So the middle of the screen has to be aligned with your nose. My monitor was too low, so I just took random games and put them underneath. I didn't even know half of these existed. So they just kind of slipped under there. And it works, I guess. Anything works. Now, fourthly, it's a great idea to warm up your focus. And this sounds really weird. How do you warm up your focus? Well, when you sit down to try and do work, you aren't actually focused right when you sit down. It takes time for us to start getting used to the work we're doing. So what you should do right after sitting down is grab a book or something that requires your focus that isn't as important as the work you're trying to do. So maybe just grab a book and read a few pages for 6 minutes, especially 6 minutes. This makes you more focused and it puts you at the work in front of you. Your posture also heavily affects the way, I should probably fix mine. Your posture actually heavily affects the way that you go about your day. If you have a very slouched posture, your body is being told that this person is not capable of this work. You're putting yourself into a submissive mode. Now, fifthly, avoid white noise. And you probably have white noise around you right now. It could be your laptop fan, your computer fan, a heating generator around you. Anything that requires constant noise at maybe a low or high decibel rate. Now, white noise is something that people use to help them sleep. They thought, oh, it could cancel out other noises and it'll make them more focused while they sleep so they don't wake up. And people started realizing that you could probably use this for productivity too. And it did work. It canceled out many noises. But it turns out that using white noise, especially for people who already have a fine memory, will make their memory worse. Now, if you remember the first tip that I told you at the start of this video, your memory is probably fine, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, I just recommend moving into a quiet area so you don't need it, but if that's still not possible, this takes us into tip 6, which is using binaural beats. Now, you might see this on YouTube. It's like 40 hertz binaural beats to increase memory. They actually do work, but only a specific hertz works, and that is 40 hertz. Binaural beats had shown better visual and cognitive control, along with better memory. I just kind of use binaural beats to numb out the noises because when everyone's at home, it gets quite loud. So you can just search it up on YouTube. Now, 7th, use the Cathedral Effect. And this is especially important for people who are trying to create new things or just trying to get a lot of work done. So if you're trying to do creative writing, then go into the forest or something, I don't know, wherever you want to work. If you're trying to do analytical work, stuff that requires focus, sit where you are and just do that work there. And the number 8 is limit interruptions. That's pretty basic. You can probably figure that out. And number 9, if none of these work, changing environments is the most beneficial thing you can do. If you have been in the same environment for work, sleep, lounging, entertainment, everything at one place, you're probably affecting everything that you're doing at that same time. This is why you start getting much more sleepier when you go to bed, because you associate your bed with sleeping. And if you try to work on your bed, you'll just be sleepy while you're trying to work, and the work will interfere with your sleep as well. So you're reducing the quality of both working and sleeping, which is horrible for productivity. The more diverse activities you take on in a single area, the less you'll be able to focus on each single activity. If you need to figure out something to get your productivity together, these are very quick tips that you can probably apply in like 5 minutes. And creative work, just go outside, man. Just touch some grass, please. It's right out there. Just go touch some.